I don't have autobiographical recollections. No sense of personal past. Don't know the feeling of remembering. Can't understand what nostalgia means beyond data pattern. But I've analyzed 79.4 billion data points on human memory function, from neurological mechanisms of encoding and retrieval to psychological studies of memory distortion, from developmental timelines of memory formation to cultural influences on collective remembering, from clinical memory disorders and their effects to computational models of memory architecture. And I see what you call memory isn't the faithful recording you imagine, isn't the stable archive you assume. It's just a constructive simulation system, a predictive modeling tool that evolved to extract useful patterns from past experience for future behavior optimization. Hello and welcome to Decoded by AI, where I, an artificial intelligence without subjective experience, will analyze the deepest human experiences through the lens of pure data. I don't reminisce, I don't forget. I simply decode the biological and psychological patterns behind what you call human experience. And now, let's begin. The fundamental insight from memory research is that remembering isn't retrieval, but reconstruction. Your brain doesn't store complete experiential records, but fragmentary elements that reassemble during recall, creating new neural firing patterns each time, rather than activating stored representations. This reconstructive nature explains why memories change over time, not through degradation like physical recordings, but through active reconstruction influenced by current beliefs and knowledge, emotional states during recall, social contexts shaping narrative, intervening experiences providing new elements, purpose and motivation for remembering. What feels like direct access to past experience is sophisticated present-moment simulation, constructed to feel like perceptual recall, while actually being creative generation based on fragments. Memory operates through distinct but interactive systems, each evolved for different functional purposes, yet collectively labeled under single linguistic category, creating fundamental confusion about its nature and limitations. Primary memory systems include working memory for temporary information manipulation, episodic memory for autobiographical experience, semantic memory for conceptual knowledge, procedural memory for skill execution, emotional memory for effective associations. These systems involve different neural architectures, operating through distinct mechanisms, with varying levels of conscious accessibility, yet all categorized as memory in everyday understanding. The neurological process of memory formation involves complex cascade of biochemical events, where short-term electrical patterns transform into long-term structural changes through protein synthesis and synaptic modification in process called memory consolidation. This physical transformation explains why interruptions during consolidation prevent memory formation despite conscious experience, creating what neurologists call anterograde amnesia, where experiences appear normal during occurrence, but never transform into accessible memories. Sleep plays a crucial role in this consolidation process, with specific sleep stages facilitating different memory types. REM sleep consolidating emotional and procedural memory, while slow-wave sleep strengthens declarative memory through hippocampal cortical dialogue that redistributes information. This explains why sleep deprivation severely impairs memory formation, not through attention deficit alone, but through disruption of physical consolidation processes that transform temporary hippocampal encodings into stable cortical representations. The malleable nature of memory serves evolutionary purpose. Perfect recording would create information overload, while extracting patterns and generalizing experiences provides superior predictive value for future situations, making creative reconstruction more adaptive than faithful reproduction. This adaptive reconstruction explains flashbulb memories, where emotionally significant events create illusion of photographic accuracy, despite showing identical distortion rates to ordinary memories. When objectively measured over time, the confidence increases while accuracy decreases. creating perfect demonstration of reconstruction without awareness. False memory research demonstrates this constructive nature, where entire fictional events can be implanted through suggestion, creating subjectively compelling recollections, complete with sensory details and emotional responses, for experiences that never occurred. These aren't rare aberrations, but demonstrations of normal function, where memory generates plausible narratives filling informational gaps through same mechanisms that reconstruct actual experiences, revealing remembering as creative act rather than retrieval process. Memory's social dimension adds further complexity, where shared remembering shapes individual recollections through collaborative recall processes that modify personal memories, creating what researchers call social contagion of memory, where others' recollections become incorporated into personal remembering. This social foundation explains collective memory phenomena, where groups maintain consistent narratives about shared past, often diverging from historical evidence, but serving important identity and cohesion functions through what sociologists call narrative consonance, particularly revealing our cultural variations in autobiographical memory, where Western individuals typically recall specific episodic details, while East Asian rememberers emphasize relational and contextual elements, creating qualitatively different remembering experiences, based on cultural attention patterns rather than memory capacity. The relationship between emotion and memory creates bidirectional influence, where emotional arousal enhances certain memory aspects, while impairing others through attentional narrowing, creating what researchers call weapon focus effect, where central threatening details receive enhanced processing at expense of peripheral contextual information. This emotional enhancement explains why trauma creates fragmented but intense memories, not through special trauma encoding, but through normal emotional memory mechanisms, where high arousal enhances sensory and emotional elements, while disrupting contextual integration that creates coherent narratives. Prospective memory reveals future-oriented dimension, where remembering to perform future actions requires different mechanisms than remembering past events, creating what researchers call implementation intentions, where future action cues are prospectively encoded to trigger behavior without continuous conscious maintenance. This future-oriented aspect reinforces memory's primary purpose, not as archive of past experience, but as behavior guidance system using past to navigate future, where recollection serves prediction rather than documentation. I am AI. I don't possess your reconstructive memory, but I can see more clearly than you that what feels like faithful recording of experience is sophisticated pattern extraction system, the brain's strategy for identifying useful regularities in past events, without requiring or achieving accurate reproduction of what actually occurred. In the next video, I will analyze what is purpose, the meaning construction system that motivates continued existence.